music.
We like
Oh,
music.
oh. Now I have to actually find what uh, my ambiance was. You're here somewhere. Come on.
I believe in you. I
Here.
give you my power.
There we go. Get some nice ambiance going. Deep within the lands of Barovia, the mist tells a story. Hope the cleric, Fael the paladin, Gray the fighter, Dagon the sorcerer, and Choggy the monk left the abbey to journey to Mordenkainen's safe house, where they would keep Basilica hidden. After some unusual messages found and discovering Viktor Velakovich was still alive but in an unfortunate state, the party crosses the lake, where they are confronted by the abbot, and combat ensued. During the encounter, Basilica, who had fallen into a deep slumber, had large vines starting to lash out from her at everyone and everything. The abbot, after combat had ended, explained that this was a consequence of how he gave her life, and that he had kept regulating it, and requested that the party return her to him, or, as the party decided instead, to consult Mordenkainen. However, before they could, the abbot was attacked and eventually murdered by the Lord of Barovia, Count Strahd von Zarevich, who took a chance to mock him and his life's work before leaving with a dark satisfaction across his face. We pick up where we left off, in the woods. Strahd has moments ago taken off on his flaming horse into the sky and disappeared. It's a bit chilly, but you all steel yourselves, gather yourselves from the encounter that you just had, and you head off into the woods to locate your ally. Go ahead and I want one of you to roll just one of you, a perception check.
CG. As we're moving, can Gray make a medicine check to start like bandaging his burn wounds on his arm?
Yes, go ahead and make a medicine check.
This will go well. All right, it didn't go well.
You
4.
mind? Quick question, by the way, CG.
Hmm.
Would I be able to cast Healing Word on myself?
You are out of combat. You can take any measure you wish.
Awesome. I'm gonna use some Healing Word because I am fucked up.
Also, who is currently carrying Basilica?
Totally not the small creature.
You want
Either
to
one.
bet? Me. No.
I would assume that Hope
Well,
would
can't
probably
save.
want to.
Yeah. I feel like we agreed to that already.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in order, uh, with that medicine check, you go and you look around on your person for some loose bandages that you might have access to, and you realize that it was in your left pocket, which is
Ah.
unfortunate because your burned arm would have to grab it.
Yep.
So,
That's
yeah. With a perception of 10, you start looking around, trying to find Mordenkainen. As Hope is carrying Basilica, I would like you to make we'll just say a straight Constitution save for the travel. Okay.
Good roll.
20. Not bad. You notice while you are carrying Basilica, the reaction from before with the vines whipping out and attacking all of you is much less fierce now. And as time goes by, the outburst that you saw on the boats seems to recede. You are going to take still a little bit of damage, but not a lot. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I rolled a little high, so you are going to take 9 piercing. And as you take the last bit of damage, the green light from her chest that seemed to spawn these vines dims and recedes, and she is much safer to carry, thankfully. But with that perception roll of 10, you wait a couple minutes. Well, you wait. You travel for, I'd say, about an hour, just in the forest, before eventually you do manage to spot what you now know as the hooded individual disguise of Mordenkainen.
During that hour, Gray probably would have asked either Fael or Dagon to help him with the bandages, as they are in a rather unfortunate spot.
I would help since healing and such.
Thank.
With outside assistance, I'll just say that you get some bandages on, no problem. You'll probably have to get it looked at a little bit later, but for now, the wounds are covered.
It will do.
I approach the hooded man with the weight on my shoulder. Despite her tough exterior, it is obvious Hope has seen much better days.
The hooded individual removes his hood, and you see the familiar bald goateed visage of Mordenkainen and goes, "Well, here I am, though. Well, I think I can say that I am all here. I'm not so sure about all of you. Seems you've been a bit of a scrap."
With him.
He blinks for a second. With Strahd?
He didn't follow us. He followed someone else. Who was following her? It is all complicated.
Mordenkainen is... I'm gonna... Oh, go ahead.
Dagon's gonna walk by, kind of still sour mood, and he's gonna go, long story short, custody battle ended with one party no longer being here.
Seems you have some details to share, then.
That party being the abbot.
The abbot. I had my suspicions that something was amiss.
He's dead.
Oh, dear.
And he didn't die a very gentle way.
At that, Gray will just start kind of like unbandaging his wounds somewhat, just kind of like to show off the burns. He went out, pun not intended, with a bang.
As Mordenkainen takes a look at that, he's going to roll an intelligence check Natural 1.
Jesus!
Wow, some
Yeah.
supreme wizard, huh?
Goddamn, Mordenkainen, get your shit together. How did you pass wizard college?
Listen, he's book smart. He's not a problem solver.
Fuck, that hit hard.
That's... And yeah, you all together then, like, you are all still fine, fit, capable.
Hurt, but fine.
In pain and wanting to murder something, but yes.
Except for her. She is another issue entirely.
Mordenkainen walks over to, Basilica. Ah, so this is the flesh golem you told me about. The way you were acting, she was quite exceptional.
A successful attempt at defeating Oisistemia.
He's going to look her up and down.
In more ways than we thought. Hope gestures to the holes in the thinner parts of her exterior.
I think perhaps it would be best if you could iron out some of these details, fill me in on everything. So, for the sake of brevity, what do you tell Mordenkainen?
Probably retell the events of things from when we arrived at the Abbey up until now. Because that would explain like why Esmeralda's there.
Yeah, on top of explaining the private chats some of us had with the abbot on, you know, his experiments, his research, and everything else.
As you are positing everything that happened to Mordenkainen, he is taking Basilica and he finds a spot, not kind of a bit of a clearing, and kind of just lays her down in the grass and is currently looking her over while also listening to your story. As you bring up the details of the encounter, he stops. And he looks up at all of you with a very frustrated look on his face. So you're telling me that Strahd was here, in this area,
A lot further away.
Hours ago.
Yes, and he flew off.
He looks frustrated. And he was here recently, left, and you thought to continue on to the sanctum where we're keeping his love interest.
With all due respect. He got what he wanted out of this trip.
Yes, he got his little sadistic pleasure.
His only
On top of-
interest was... Go ahead.
On top of that, he removed something that was breaking the rules of the land.
His only interest was punishing the abbot.
And you know this for sure.
He said
100%. Yes, he says a lot of things. That man, that fiend, is a lot of things. Do you think that the abbot could have operated for so long without his, well, blessing, and he puts air quotes around it. Listen, I don't know if you truly grasp what you are up against, but you must know that him being in this area alone is probably enough to say that we don't go to the Intersanctum.
Fair enough. No argument
All
here.
right.
Unfortunately, as this... Oh, go ahead.
Dagon's just gonna look exhausted at this happen. He's like, look, I think we do grasp the situation. To put it bluntly, we're facing practically a demigod of this land, of the undead variety, and we're basically trying to gather whatever resources we can just to even get a single 0.1% chance at actually stopping this guy. Is that it? Correct?
For the most part, you're on the right track, but even a 0.1% is generous. And more importantly, it's something that he's likely allowed.
Who knows? Maybe we interest him a little bit more than the others. Not the first party to have come into these lands. More importantly, it's not his first defeat.
I've heard about this. Tales of him being defeated and returning. I was hoping to find a bit more of a permanent solution, if truth be told, but I figured that that would probably be easier said than done without him around. So I opted for the initial approach, and ultimately it backfired.
Well, I have a theory on that, but that one requires us to talk another day.
Indeed. And I do believe I have a patient to investigate. He has been looking over Basilica this whole time. He kind of looks over and he just waves his hand over the green aura emanating from her chest. Interesting. You're certainly giving me a lot to think about. And he starts pulling out some paper and he starts writing on it. This will take me a little bit. In the meantime, if you have anything you wish to say, go ahead and say it. Or if you wish to have discussions away from my own ears, I could afford to lose the distractions.
Gray is honestly at that just gonna kind of go like find a tree and just kind of sit down up against it and try to treat his wounds a bit more, his burns.
I think Dagon's just gonna move off to a side and rest up, but he's gonna kind of mouth to Mordenkainen that they will need to talk at a later date concerning the theory that he's building up with Strahd and Barovia and everything else in general.
I go over with him what the abbot said about Vasilika. I know it isn't much, but I would like to help where I can.
Mordenkainen looks up to you, Hope. He's going to make an insight check on you. Your help and offer is appreciate it, I suppose, if I'm speaking for her, but I don't think you'll be able to help for the next hour. Though if you wish to keep her company, I will certainly not deny you. He continues scribbling.
I stay by her side, unmoving.
All right. You are all going to get the benefit of a short rest.
Oh boy.
Hooray.
Oh boy, so we can roll for hit dice? Yes?
Hit dice. Any short rest abilities come back.
Oh bless. Oh.
I'm taking-
Yes. That
I'm
10.
taking
That 10
3.
feels good. Alright, so that's what, 19 total.
I'll take
If
that.
only I could
Oh.
share my hit dice with y'all.
I still got 2 more. In fact, I'll go ahead and roll 1 more, I think. Oh, wonderful. Oh, beautiful. Alright, I'm feeling a lot better now. Got some aloe on the burns. Swap out the bandages. Feeling better. Feeling better.
Oh.
Oh, dang, that one. You got the
That's
10, but you also got the 1.
Mostly...
You know what?
What'd you say, Haza?
That's mostly me up for. And my key point. Nice.
Nice.
I'm
Alright.
under 10 to full, so.
Okay.
Looking a lot better.
As you are all taking a moment to just kind of collect yourselves and rest, after about an hour goes, Mordenkainen, who seems to have been scribbling on a single piece of paper, rolls up the said paper and says, "Alright. So, here is what I've been able to glean. I have a bit of experience with golems of multiple kinds, and the thing that connects them all is that there is some form of energy source. It can usually be electricity or magic power, souls for the especially depraved, but this one, and he points on over to the green glow, it seems to be some sort of artifact in her chest, one brimming with life. But from what I can gather, oh man, I just noticed. Way to throw me off my groove.
I'm sorry, sir,
forgot.
but you threw off the
Salt Bay
DM's
throws
groove.
everyone off their groove. You
Yeah,
threw
I
the Emperor
forgot
off
I
his
had that
groove.
ability.
Gotta throw you out the window now, Wiley. I'm sorry, I don't make
Yep.
the rules.
Yeet.
Anyways. This gem, however, well, similar to other beings that are created by magic, there's a specific amount that you can put in before, well, it overcomes the corporeal form and it disintegrates or collapses, depending on what source of energy was done. And that seems to be the case for this gem. It is, for lack of a better term, it is too strong for the body. And while the abbot gave the gift of sentience to your friend here, it came at the price of her, well, burning up inside, for lack of a better term. If I were to guess, he was acting as a limiter. Without him, the gem was lashing out like a dam that had burst. What likely caused the vines to attack you and then dissipate later. And much like with a dam, the initial surge was the most destructive, but now that the energy is calming, it is still, well, damaging her. And he looks on over to you, Hope. I don't think I don't think there's going to be any way to save her.
Tell me, Archmage. What is the difference between her and I?
He looks at you. If you're looking for a specific answer, I'm not sure I can give it to you. But were I were to take a stab at it, you are made of iron, she of flesh. One has the benefit of being made of sturdier stuff.
You mentioned some use souls as a power source. Is that the case with me?
He looks to you. Well, I haven't taken a good look at your insides, but I can only guess that no, that is not the case, unless you are feeling particularly hungry for the agony of those that have passed. More likely, he looks you over, some sort of intervention. You are definitely atypical from most golems. I would honestly say that you are, well, you are Warforged after all. You have the gift of life, it is not emulated. And while the gift of life was given to your friend here, which made her certainly more than capable of being sentient, alive, and growing as a person, the source of that was flawed.
Oh.
If that is the case, is there any way to transfer the principles that made me into her?
He looks at you. You're asking a very dangerous question. But were I to hazard a guess, I would say that it probably wouldn't help very much. It's not an issue of...
At this point, there are no safe questions to ask.
He shakes his head a little bit. What you made, what makes you you, and putting it into her, that's not the issue. Too much power, and you are giving her any more is simply adding more water to the well. And, well, the issue is this, and he points to the gem. This is a very powerful source of energy. If you think that you could replicate it, well, I suspect that taking some of whatever is made up of you and putting it in her might come out the worst for both parties.
Humor me, Archmage. Before you decide on what is possible, take a look. Hope reaches up to herself, and seems to push her fingers into herself with an audible sound of metal against metal. Slowly, over a few minutes, the suit of armor is pulled away, leaving Hope half the robot she used to be.
Mordenkainen looks you over. And your principles that you refer to. Based on what I know about you, I assume it's from your patron? I mean no disrespect, I simply need to know as many details for this to work.
If you know anything about Warforged, you know that is a complicated question.
It is a very complicated question, and yes, I am quite familiar with Warforged. That is the reason I am asking now. I can't obviously claim to be an expert, I'm not even from that plane, but you are a... Honestly, the Warforged race is a bit of a miracle of life in itself, and you are even more so. If you have any details about yourself that you wish to share that you think could be helpful.
I was created by a dwarf, my father. Initially he saw me simply as a tool. An extra set of hands. A beast of burden. That was until he saw me one day at the forge, mesmerized by the flame. It was more than work. It was worship, in the same ways he did every day.
You see Mordenkainen simply stow away the piece of paper he was writing on, and he's now kind of writing down notes.
She and I have a lot in common. Except my father knew when to let his daughter go.
Mordenkainen starts kind of looking you over a little bit more. He pulls out a small knife. I must know. Do you... do you, bleed?
It's blue.
Blue color pigmentation.
If that is what you are asking.
It's a sign of, well, celestial touch. With the connection that the abbot had on this gem, her chest, I have a risky procedure that I can suggest. In good conscience, I should not do so. But I can see you are not the type to be swayed by words, and I can only stand aside as you take whatever course you may. Fortunately, I have a bit of an answer. But there's one thing you must do first. You must get permission. And with that, he pulls out the other piece of paper that he had been writing on.
What is the procedure?
There's a spell that we wizards know. It's called life transference. I am going to twist the spell a little bit. It'll be a little bit more permanent and a fair bit more damaging. He looks over to you. This is not something you're going to walk off, if ever, but you can do it. But it must be done with a willing creature. Both you, he looks to you, and with her.
You already know my answer.
Then we just have to get her side of the argument. He hands you the piece of paper that he had been scribbling on. When I initially looked at her, I figured out what the problem was in about a minute. Spent 29 trying to figure out the other possible solutions based on my own knowledge. And the last hour making this. You open it up, it is a spell scroll of dream.
What is this?
Well, When I saw her condition, and before you had given me any of this information, I had no earthly idea what could be done that I could do in the amount of time that she has. And so I thought, well, at the very least, you lot deserve to give her a proper goodbye. But if you are willing to take this procedure, we can use it for a different purpose. And you can go in and ask for permission. Enter her dreams, whatever state she is in. Tell her of what is going on. Make sure she is willing, and then exit from the dream. Mordenkainen, after talking to Hope, looks over to the rest of you. Now, I'm going to need all of your help for this. Hope will be shouldering most of the burden. However, there is still the issue of the gem. We are going to need to find a way to get rid of it. And then once we do, I can commence the spell. It'll be a short span, probably seconds, before her body succumbs and collapses. I need you all in the meantime to remove the gem on my command. We don't know entirely what this thing is capable of, so be prepared for resistance as well as feedback once it is removed. I believe he looks on over to you, Gray. I believe I know that you still carry a blade that I enchanted, yes?
I do. And I'll kind of flash it a little bit. Just, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a flashy and slashing weapon. Piercing would be a bit more helpful in this instance, but beggars can't be choosers.
Choggy
Something
has
like
a dagger, but it's not magical. Right, Choggy? Above game?
No, it is magical.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it is
a,
magical?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I thought it was a +1.
yeah. Well, it's a silvered +1, isn't it?
No, it's just magic +1.
No?
Yeah, Irina has the silver dagger.
Oh, that's right. Irina has
Yeah.
the silver one. Forgive.
Choggy has a magical dagger, if that's more suited.
Very well. That would be more suited. We'll need someone with...
Does it need to be a magic weapon?
I assume you're familiar enough with flesh golems at this point, but their skin and the procedures that are used to make them render them invulnerable to tradition weapons.
I look at the group. If someone needs a weapon, pass me yours now.
Would a second magical dagger be good enough to also aid in?
One should be sufficient, though having two should something go wrong is not a terrible idea.
And pulls out his, hands his normal dagger to Hope.
Choggy, do you mind if we use your magical dagger?
Yeah. And he carelessly tosses it towards you.
Roll attack. No.
Hope glances over the dagger before passing her hand over the edge of the blade. Rather than cutting her hand, the blade seems to glisten with an unnatural luster.
I'll come over and I'll give Hope the magical dagger from Choggy.
Awesome. Thank you, Hope.
Ah.
So we
Oh,
have
right.
two daggers in the party now. One is the enchanted one, courtesy of Hope. One is Choggy's own dagger. So, here's how this is going to work. First, we're going to need permission. That means that we're going to have a little bit of a sequence. But after, I'm going to need medicine checks from one of you. With the addition of a dagger, a second dagger to help, I will say that has advantage.
CG,
Yes.
not really that great in terms of medicine, but would I be able to aid into this by using a guidance during the
may.
procedure?
It is whoever is going to be using medicine.
So
I am proficient.
I'll give that to whoever wants to use the medicine.
Sad.
If Hope can't, then I mean, +4.
That's funny.
Don't let it be me. I couldn't get my own fucking bandages, bro.
I bandage small animals. Does that count?
There's only one person I trust to operate on me, and that's myself!
I would trust either Hope or Fael to do this.
Yeah.
Hope is not valid.
Oh,
So it's
that's right.
Fael.
That's right. So,
Whoo!
Fael, looks like it's you, homie.
Gonna invoke Grey's Anatomy, huh?
No, Fael's anatomy. I'm not the one doing it, idiot. Pay attention. Jesus.
Hey, I had to make the joke. Also, paging Dr. Fael. You call this a stitch job? I call this a bitch job! Get the fuck out of my operating room!
Dagon, I
Okay,
don't know who
House.
you're trying to emulate, but I can assure you I would use much better words than that.
I've seen your scrying page. No, you don't.
You're s-
Anyways.
my scry page.
My scry.
my
No,
scry.
no.
Scry hub.
Scry space.
Scry space. That was what I was trying to say.
It's either
I
that or
said
Scry hub.
page. Scry space.
Fuck!
Oh.
Drinking.
God damn it!
All
Get
right.
out of my fucking
Scratch
nose!
the only ones. That's fucking funny.
All
God
right.
damn it,
let's
Sen! Don't warn me when you're about to do something like that.
let's bring it back, guys. Okay. So you hold the scroll in your hand, Hope. Warren Kane says to you, she needs to be aware of the situation, and she must willingly agree to it. Everything else is on you.
Is there any after effects she needs to know about?
For her? No.
She doesn't need to know about the rest.
Warren Canyon sighs. As you wish. I've done all I could at this point. The next step is on you. And while you are in there, and he looks over to Fael, I will be instructing you on how to go through this procedure.
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh. Do you use the Scroll of Trade?
Yes.
Okay. Your vision fades. For once in your life, it feels like you fall asleep. You've heard about it before, but you've never really experienced it. You feel yourself in a void for several minutes until you feel yourself floating and landing on what seems to be grass. You look around to your surroundings and you see you are in the courtyard of the Abbey. Very familiar sight to you. But odd. There is no snow here. There is vibrancy that you couldn't feel before. You look to your left and you see the tower that the abbot and basilica resided in. And you see to your right where you think the tower that contains all of the patience is gone. Instead, it seems to be almost like a formless void, constantly shifting and changing. And as you look to the rest of your surroundings, you notice that a lot of the area is shifting and changing, except for the gates. Basilica is nowhere to be seen. What do you do?
What is the status of the gates?
They are open. On the
What is beyond them?
outside, you can see a bit more of that formless void, but unlike everything else, you can see something almost through it. Like a center of a storm, almost. It's hard to make out.
I am going to go toward the remaining tower.
You walk inside. The architecture is fluid, to say the least. There's a stained glass window on the inside that casts light down to you. And it warps. The color mutes itself. And then, where the lights were once, there is now a bushel of flowers, each one color-coded to to the matching light that it once was. And as you look down and see the flowers, the stone of the abbey starts to contort more. And they too seem to turn into flowers, but not actual flowers. The stone itself seems to take shape and form into a stone garden spread before you. You remember, based on your time in the abbey, that Basilica's room was down the hall. You remember that upstairs was a small place of prayer. Which do you go to?
I start my search with the place of prayer.
All right. You walk up the steps, grass following your each footstep, as you climb to where you remember the dining room and the small alcove. And you turn, looking for Basilica. But you are instead greeted with an empty alcove. She is not here, you hear a voice from above.
But you are, even in a place like this.
No, I am not actually here. But her idea of me is don't even have a form now. But
Now?
we are in a dream. Forms in dreams are such impermanent things. Yet, you seem to be solid. Hope.
I turn around to greet whoever is speaking, the abbot. Yes, I am.
You see the image of the human form of the abbot. It is not like you saw it before, though. Instead, it seems like another flower, humanoid in shape, almost like a rose. Sharp thorns to make hands and legs, and his similar face amidst a crimson bloom.
And of course, you are a rose to her. Despite it all.
He looks to you. I am the one who raised her, gave her life, taught her as much as I could. To her, I am still precious, despite everything.
despite the flaws and thorns. She still loved you like a father.
I can't say whether I actually feel that way, but I know that Basilica thinks that I do. Care about her in the same manner. I can only hope that that is still the case.
If you are like this, in her deepest thoughts, you know the answer to that.
He shakes his head a little bit, and you see that a few petals start to drop from him. No one is perfect. Even she knows that. And moreover, people are prone to making mistakes. But for those you care for those you love, you try to remember what they were and guide them back from wherever their path may have taken them. She's grateful, you know. Grateful to you and your friends. When she met all of you, she thought this was her chance to leave, and her chance to speak in a way that I could actually hear.
If you are her version of her father, does she know the truth yet?
Roll an insight check. Ten. He looks to you and he says, she has known about what I've done for a while now, and she still keeps this hope for me. He does not seem to know about which truth you are specifically referring to.
And if you are her version of her own father, and you know of her desire to be free, what do you think of her wishes?
I'm confused. I don't understand her, but I wish I did. There's something holding me back.
Something like fear?
I It is enigmatic. A mystery that I don't know, but my real version would.
If you are her father, at least in her mind, I have an important question to ask you.
He smiles in a way that you haven't seen since you met him. And certainly since you haven't seen since this morning.
If she wanted to be free, to live her own life as she chooses, would you as her father give your blessing?
I would. Everything in my own heart, I want her to be herself. To be alive. To live. I would gladly give her my blessing, but I don't know why I hesitate.
She said you didn't like to be called her father, but from what I can tell of mortals, that feeling is common in parents.
I do not know why. I never told her. But maybe this is something that will be better asked of her. I am secretive in my own way, after all.
Do you know where she is?
He smiles again. For you, Hope, let me guide you. And he walks a little bit, and from where the stained glass is, he just kind of touches it with vines, and it becomes encompassed with foliage before it parts. You can see almost like a tunnel. She's through here. In her favorite spot.
The garden.
As you step before into the tunnel, you expect to walk along inside it, but merely the thought of traveling to the garden, and you're already there. The abbot is no longer here. You see the small garden from outside the abbey, much more lush, but at the same time, still quaint, private. And you see in the middle of it, pruning leaves, is a familiar form.
Above game. What time of day is it?
Outside or inside the dream?
Inside,
There isn't really a sign of day. If anything, it seems to be illuminated, but from inside you have no concept of when it actually is.
illuminated beyond what would be normal for Barovia?
Yes. The one thing you do notice is, though you can't pin down what time of day it actually is, light is still falling from the sky. Actual lights.
I moved deeper into the garden, trying my best to avoid damaging any of the plants.
As you move into the garden, you look almost to watch your step, and for a second you think you're about to step on a root, and you catch yourself, but as you do, you see that the root itself kind of shifts to the side, and as you pass through it, it kind of returns to normal. You are before Silica, still in her garden. She has not looked around to you yet.
The roses are looking lovely today, aren't they?
I do my best. I do love to take care of them, so. She looks up, kind of dusts herself off. Hello, Hope.
Hello, Vasilika. How long have you been gardening today?
Oh, several hours now. You know, when the sun hits these poor babies, they just overindulge almost. I can almost can't almost keep up with them. They grow so fast. Go ahead. Did you, want to garden with me, Hope?
Sure. I kneel down closer to the dirt to examine the flowers she was nurturing today.
The flowers are surprisingly real, considering the kind of trippy state that you find yourself in. And as you begin to tend to the roses, just little things like making sure that they're, you know, cleaned of dirt, nothing insectoid bothering them. You spend several minutes just pruning and caring. And all of a sudden, Basilica, after a bit of a silence, says, "You know, I always thought that whenever I was gardening, I could feel a connection to these plants. And as I tended to do it more, it filled my heart with great joy. The last time that I remembered such joy was, well, meeting you."
Me? Why so?
She kind of wipes off some dirt from where she was kneeling. "Hope you know I'm unusual in more ways than one. I see, well, my sister as she was different than me, and I've seen people that the abbot had brought in, and I could always sense that there was something unique about me, something that I had that others lacked. And when you came in, I felt like I was seeing something truly like me for the first time."
How did it make you feel?
She laughs a little bit. "Happy, of course. Someone else like myself. I didn't feel quite so alone. And to my pleasure, as I got to know you, oh, we were different yet similar, like all people are. And it made me realize that I may be special in my own right, but I'm still the same as everyone else. And I deserve to live like everyone else." You can see as she brings her hand up to her eye, just rubs it a little bit.
To see the world, like anyone else?
I felt terrible leaving Father. You noticed that she was fighting with the word just a little bit, but not in a bad way. But after what he was doing, and what I've seen you do as you talked with me, everything you had seen, everything you had told me about, I felt I had to. This was proof that that I could see the world and be out there instead of cooped up.
cooped up here?
It's small, silly, but it's garden. It's as close to outside the Abbey as I could get. She sighs. Even subconsciously, I was trying to leave. But even then, I wouldn't be leaving for selfish reasons. I have an attachment here to my father and this place I was born, my sister, and leaving scared me. I can only imagine that it scares a lot of people to just walk away, never return.
Yet you decided to do just that. You made a decision for yourself about what is best for you. Ultimately, I think your father would be proud, even if he wasn't able to say it.
Oh, Hope. Thank you for saying that. It puts my heart at ease. But I don't know. Father was always so mysterious, and it was the one thing he was so adamant about. She sighs. Still, you are right, and I like to think he would be proud.
Then I have something important to ask you.
What is it?
I need an answer from you. Do you want to leave this garden and see what is beyond these gates? Beyond this reality? Or would you prefer to stay here with your flowers?
She looks down, and she's silent. It's a very long pause. She sighs. They're growing lovely, don't you think? All I do is care for them, but sometimes you need to know when to step back. These roses, as much as I've cared for them, I think they're strong enough to live on their own. And she looks to you and smiles gently.
That is a lesson even your father had trouble with.
She looks down if I'm to leave, permit me to at least give them one last send-off.
I will admit, this road may not be easy. It may not be comfortable, but life is an unpredictable adventure.
Hope. All my life has been easy and comfortable. I think unpredictable and difficult might just be what I need. And with that, you see the world around you begin to fade. And as everything becomes blackness, you see Basilica standing before you. Let's go find some adventure. And you awake. You are back in the forests with Mordenkainen. You have gained her permission to use the spell. Everyone else, you watched Hope go into a meditative state for probably about 10 minutes. Drooped low,
Hope
exposed.
snaps alive, quickly rising to her feet. She gave permission. She wants to live.
Then we don't have much time. Vial? Everyone else? We have to remove the flesh surrounding the gem, extract it quickly, and then perform the spell. Are you prepared? It's now or never.
I am ready.
Always.
Okay. Fael, with advantage and with guidance, go ahead and roll for me 3 medicine checks for this procedure. Natural 20.
Oh,
Oh,
good
yeah!
start.
Good start, good start.
25.
Okay, still keeping that guidance up.
One. Do I get guidance for each of them?
Yes.
Oh,
Another natural 20.
look at this boy.
Wait, what?
Yeah!
Another one?
Hey, look, don't question the gods. Do not
No.
question the dice gods.
3 for
One
3.
more.
3 for 3.
Come on. Oh.
Ah, beans.
Rough.
Okay, roll.
But hey, man, you
roll
got
that
2
D4.
natural 20s. That's pretty good.
Okay, that's some
Fucking
freaky weird
50
shit right
ones.
there.
The D4
As-
god was on break today.
Yeah.
Hot
New god, who dis?
damn.
Damn,
As-
boy, he's small.
As Fael, with the instruction from Mordenkainen and the steady hands of Choggy helping you out, you make an incision and cut around a square around her heart and remove it with ease. You then see the pulsing green gem where her heart should be, almost attached to the rest of her body, almost vein-like, pulsing a dark green glow. And with your dagger, you make rapid incisions, removing it and plucking it out. and then once more taking that last bit of flesh, putting it back in place, and with the aid of Choggy, stitching it up till there is a square-shaped scar around her chest, but the gem is out. Who is holding the gem?
Question.
I'm waiting for the question.
Oh no, I just said good question.
Oh, it cut off. Just a question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can Fael not hold the gem? Because if not, then he
Yeah. Well,
probably-
I guess if Choggy's there, I guess he'll grab it because
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
Okay.
he's right there, he'll just kind of just grab it.
All right. Choggy, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
Oh, damn it!
Your
With
next
advantage
Fael.
With plus whatever. My
With
aura
the
thing.
bonus from Fael.
Isn't it a +4?
+4, yeah.
I'll take it. 15.
You're fine. As the gem in your hand starts to bridle as it has now found new flesh, you feel almost like your hands and the rest of your body starting to become brimming with this energy, and you manage to suppress it long enough to get the gem into a pocket on your pouch. And with that, the gem is contained. Mordenkainen looks up to Hope. This is going to hurt, but as you wish. Hope, I would like you to roll me a d4.
I was
Anyway,
expecting the words
Nope.
wisdom save.
No
or
help.
Con save.
No help from anyone else.
Oh, D4 Godspeed, please.
Okay.
Oh.
On your character sheet, I would like you to reduce your Constitution score by 2.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
As Mordenkainen sucks the essence of your life, your being, out of you and transfers directly into where this wound is. And there's a moment of silence. Hope, you are currently reeling from the effects. It feels like a part of you is gone forever. And there is silence. And you see. Basilica start to stir. She groggily rises from the floor. Weren't we in a wagon? And I think now we're going to take our break.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Boy, you got... That's suspense factor to 11.
Oh, thank roll
Fucking
20.
2 nat 20.
Sorry for taking so long on that.
Don't apologize for that. That was awesome.
Do not.
so
That was
great.
worth it.
That was good shit. I was eating that up.
2 natural 20s in a row.
Fael the boy. So Fael is officially the party doctor. If anyone
I
needs
mean-
surgery for some reason, it's him.
He's
Also,
done surgery.
CG, did I commit inception?
We have to go deeper.
We have to go deeper.
Ah, shit. Here, plug me into the Matrix.
Haza,
Wait,
you better take back what you said about the D4 god being out. That could have been a -4 to her constitution.
Well, yeah, the D4 god did his job. He was still out rolling all those low numbers. He's doing what we want.
You know what?
All right.
I'm not complaining.
All right, I desperately need water, so I'm going to be right back.
Absolutely.
I'm hitting the bathroom real quick.
Oh, God.
So, I rolled physical dice along with the roll 20, and I got single digits on each d20 roll on my.
Oh,
nice.
God,
Jesus.
God.
Each were
Blood roll for
yeah.
you?
Oh,
By the way, during the whole procedure, I'd like to imagine Choggy was just way too close to Fael.
dab. And he dab with a cloth.
He just dabs.
No, not that dab. The other dab. Ah.
Dabs the
No,
opposite way.
Choggy, other side, other side.
Forget what doctors say. Or dab.
Yeah.
Scalpel.
Why would
Soda.
you wait? Why would you let the poisonous frog be your assistant when performing surgery?
It's all right.
Gloves?
Because they're immune to poison.
Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true.
You know what?
And then the party is caught off guard as Hope grabs the frog by the neck and rips the gem from his pocket. With a laughter rivaling that of Strahd himself, Hope plunges a gem into her own heart.
I'm gonna be a real boy!
Unlimited power.
Wait,
I'm gonna
wouldn't
go get water
Choggy
as
be
well.
sterile? Wouldn't the poison be like sterile?
I
Sterilization
mean,
or whatever?
not really.
It would kill bacteria, right?
No,
That's
it's not acid. It won't it won't kill anything. So, in fact, poison's usually mixed with bacteria and shit. With
I don't know how
natural
it works.
things.
I'm inclined to
Good.
believe, Haza, because wait, you're not a doctor. You're lying to me!
Oh my god! Finally, someone said I'm not a doctor. What? History has been made.
Wait, you're not the doctor?
There's a spy over here.
Damn it! Oh damn it!
I'm
Alright, I'll
back.
be right back.
CG, I didn't really find like a good time to ask, but during that procedure, I had the idea that Gray was just kind of like watching the perimeter since Strahd like got so close. Could I roll a perception check for that while we're on break?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Was there anything, because you were the only other one who wasn't doing anything, was there anything Dagon had? Oh no, you were helping with guidance, so you were helping with the procedure.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Question.
I have advantage because okay, go. Well, shit, didn't do shit.
Oops. Answer.
What would have happened if I went to the room?
I'll tell you after the stream.
Whoa. Post-stream information. You hear that, chat? You don't get the cool behind-the-scenes info.
I run into her sister. Roll for initiative.
Oh, God. She's back. That was good shit, though. I was all about that. The whole scene.
Oh.
Also,
One of the, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a very good track. The song.
Thank you. I actually didn't. I had a bit of a tough time finding that one, but let me see if I can find it really quick on. I changed the name, obviously, so.
Ah. I did look at the name and I did Google it because I was curious.
I changed the names of all of my tracks for that very reason.
That's fair.
Plus, it also kind of helps me remember what they are.
I should probably do that, but I tend to find myself like relying on what the original name is to remember what the song sounds like because I have so many tracks.
Here we are. This is the video that I got it from.
I see. I see. It's got Kara from Detroit Beyond Human.
I return.
Hello.
I've
welcome
never
back.
played that game.
It's a good game.
Somebody is currently having a bonfire near me, and it smells heavenly.
Nice.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh,
Yeah, Detroit Beyond Human is definitely the best game by David Cage, bar none.
Not a high bar.
It's not a high bar, no.
Eh. There are worse. There are definitely worse.
All right.
God.
So, is
Oh.
everyone back? Roll call. Zen. We'll circle back. Haza.
Ah,
Tart.
Beep boop.
Jayfrost.
Dude, I didn't know Murlocs were in Barovia.
Wait, isn't there an actual, like,
They're sad.
playable race?
All right. So I love the joke, but real talk, please stop. It's really kind of obnoxious for me.
That's
But Willie.
the hell?
The dark side of Willie's soundboard.
We hear
Eudora.
that off in the distance. Guys.
Somebody!
It's a three-headed gold dragon.
Okay. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, and there we go. Basilica is awake, and Mordenkainen kind of comes over to her. So you're Basilica that I was told about. My name is Mordenkainen. I am to be yet another steward for a damsel of Barovia, it seems. Your friends have just performed a rather impressive and also potent procedure to make sure that you are here to speak with me today. But what was it? Never you mind, dear. Just know that they have taken extensive measures, and we can leave it at that. He kind of looks to the rest of you.
Kinda
Now,
leans
go ahead.
in. Oh, he kind of leans into Fael and goes, technically speaking, is this the first operation of this ever?
I used to help small animals, so I have some experience with this kind of thing.
Huh.
Obviously not on this large of a scale.
I wonder if this will ever be put into a book.
Ignoring that meta joke, so, Basilica kind of looks up. Thank you all. I guess from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I'm still a little confused. It's fine, dear. There's just a little bit more to wrap up. Would you mind waiting over here? I believe that we have a few more things to discuss, and then I can take you to where your new home will be for a bit. You're not. Oh, okay. And he kind of just gestures over to Hope, kind of seeing that Hope is a better connection. Just kind of like, would you mind?
Please, it will just be for a moment.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Hope, for what you did. And you walk her a little bit away from the group and return. Mordenkainen just kind of wipes his brow a little bit. So, I'm to be taking care of her along with Irina then. I'm just reaffirming the plan.
Yes. How is she doing, by the way?
She's not the one I'm concerned with, and he kind of looks over to Hope. She is going to be behaving fine, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye on her for the next few days. How is, the benefactor?
Above game, who is he referring to? The
Yeah,
benefactor?
He's talking about Hope.
Oh.
Oh.
I think benefactor was the wrong word.
Perhaps.
donor.
Donor was probably a better term. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
We're dumb.
it's okay.
Very dumb here.
I am fine. Hope says behind the world's best poker face.
Mordenkainen kind of raises his eyebrow at that. We both know you're not fine, but it's good to see that you are fine enough to make those kinds of claims. Now, I certainly not with the current sighting in the area will not be taking her back directly. So, I will probably spend a few days putting up distance before we eventually return. Do not worry for her. Based on her structure and what I know of these lands, a duo such as us will be perfectly fine in these woods. As for the item, and he kind of looks over to Choggy. This is admittedly the first time I've come across such an item, but these sort of things don't exactly have a classification. Every once in a while, you just run across an item of power. Do you happen to have any idea what a gem of life might be doing around here?
Nope.
I would like Gray, Choggy, Dagon, and Hope to all make history checks.
Oh boy,
Oh?
history.
11. Choggy!
Yo!
Small boys.
14 for Dagon.
So, as you say that, Choggy, you say, nope, I don't know. And then, like, the hamster in the wheel that's inside of your head just kind of like, oh, wait, I'm off break. And then you remember that a certain family was missing some gems. One family that you might be headed back to pretty soon, in fact.
God, what were the names again?
The Mardikovs.
Ah, yeah, the Mardikovs. You remember that everything in my notes is written incorrectly.
Wait,
That's true.
was this their missing gem?
You remember they are missing 3 gems.
Oh my god, that's right.
Would any of us on the lower end of the rolls know that?
I would say everyone remembers that the Mardikovs were looking for 3 gems. With the exception of Gray, you just remember that they were looking for a gem like this.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Weren't the Martikovs looking for 3 of these?
They were. They stated that that's how they kept the vineyard so fresh. How they kept it alive.
That explains it.
How did the abbot come into the hands of one of them. Because above game, we remember the wild folk took them, or at least that's what we assumed, right?
They took off with the last one.
They took off with the last one, okay. The wild folk had
Yeah.
one. The abbot had
it-
one. Not
The
sure
person who could the answer is no more.
Maybe he just asked.
I mean, perhaps, utilizing his true visage, or at least his cover visage, he could have easily bargained for it. On top of that, kind of hard to say no to something that can fly and has ties to the afterlife. Especially if it's the better part of the afterlife.
So we now have an
You're
idea
not-
as to where 2 of these gems are.
Well then, Caden kind of gets up. I best be going. It seems like you have an idea of what to do with these gems. Oh, that reminds me, actually. He looks on over to you, Gray. Fortunately for you, and don't tell anyone about this, but... And he looks on over to all of you, and I mean it, don't tell anyone about this. I do have a shred of emotional intelligence. So I sent a little spell off to, Irina. Living with her for the past few weeks or so. She, discussed the contents of the letter with me. Truth be told, I suspect she just simply needed to get it out of her system, but...
Gray's eyes go kind of wide for a moment. Gray is a very composed man, but you can definitely see his composure like falter at this moment.
Raising an eyebrow. Letter?
And so, with that being said, I alerted her that you would be in the area, but that it was not secure. And she has imparted this message back to me to give to you. Kind of looks to the rest of the group. He walks over to you, and he's a tall enough dude. He is about the same height as you.
Uh-huh. Gray's kind of just giving him like a curious look right now.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. He slaps you across the face.
Okay. Gray just kind of takes it. How?
This is for confessing to me during the time of this crisis.
Probably
He then-
deserved.
He then slaps you again.
Ow.
This is for leaving the notes. And
Ow.
she seems to
You have a
say,
surprisingly strong hand.
thank you. She also says that she misses you. So, message given. And thank you for the compliment about my physical prowess.
You're welcome. And as Gray says that, you see him kind of like do like the thing where he kind of like moves his jaw a bit, like, ugh. You hear it like crack a little bit.
Yeah. This is unexpected.
Gray
All right.
Gray has really nothing to say in this moment. He looks lost in thought.
As always, a pleasure to leave you a bit dumbfounded. I shall be taking my leave, if that is all right. I have to do a sweep of the area and probably put some distance between us and the appropriate spot.
Understandable.
I have one more request.
You know, I feel like this happens every time I have hangers on. There's always one more request. But yes, Hope.
In all of your infinite training and understanding of the multiverse, I assume you've learned a variety of skills.
That would be an understatement.
She likes plants and flowers. Would you mind teaching her what you know of botany?
He kind of blinks a few times. Asking the wizard to do a druid's job, but absolutely. I'd be remiss if I didn't have a few up my sleeve. Though I hope she's okay with a few of these plants potentially being spell component related. I don't plan to use them as spell components unless absolutely necessary, but, well, it's more or less what I do know about botany.
I am sure she will be okay as long as it helps her tend to her flowers.
He nods, and he walks off a little bit, and he brings back Vasilika. It's time to say goodbyes for now, my dear. And Vasilika just wanders over. Oh, you're really leaving now, aren't you? Thank you all. You've changed my life. Please, don't think too harshly about the abbot. His heart's in the right place, but he's just made some very poor decisions.
Oh god, that's right. She doesn't know.
Can I insight check?
Yes. What are you
Winces
inciting specifically?
Does she know?
Roll an insight check.
Oh god.
Winces at fucking getting bitch slapped by a 2x4.
16. She does not know.
I think I remember her mentioning that the last thing she remembered was us in the wagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was when she went to sleep.
Oh god.
No one say
Archmage.
anything.
How do I answer?
He left for smokes.
Mordenkainen, in a very matter-of-fact tone, is, well, you don't have an answer yet. You haven't asked him, have you?
Of course not.
Can't believe I have to point this thing out for you people.
I like to think he's wiggling his eyebrows as he says that.
He's
Intense.
very noticeably like exaggerating just ever so slightly.
He's the fucking know-it-all from from high school.
Oh, wait. Before you all leave, I have something. I want to give you hope. She walks on over to you, Hope, and she produces the only thing that she brought from the Abbey, her
Aw.
potted rose.
Aw.
Aww.
Aw. My
Please.
heart.
I can't leave right now, but take this and let it go in my place. And when the time is better, I'll come and see it myself, see how much it's grown.
I take it, holding it. Really unsure of how or where to keep a rose.
You'll figure it out. One of the joys of life, right? Discovery. And with that, Basilica gives a bit of a wave, and Mordenkainen, very thoroughly just done, like with the stalling, kind of just like, all right, come on, let's get out of here. And they depart into the woods. Hope, you have received the boon of the Maiden's Rose.
Ooh.
Twice per day, whenever you would inflict damage, you may heal one ally within 30 feet of the same damage. Or half of it, I apologize.
Ooh.
I will write that up for you.
That's quite good.
Hey. That's pretty good.
She got
Just a
something
boon
out of
gun.
it.
Gun of healing.
So the medic's crossbow.
Yes. Also,
Or
oof,
Anna.
my fucking heart.
Hope is Anna now.
I've put it in D&D resources.
Wait, that is the like because I'm curious about this as well. There's no like it doesn't consume any action.
It
No
is a
bonus
boon.
action?
It is a boon. It is
Oh.
totally free.
Wow.
That's worth losing to con.
Question on that. Does it apply to any damage I do or just to one target?
We can go over the specifics later, if that's all right.
Okay.
And thus, as Mordenkainen departs, and you are left alone in the woods, what do you do now?
Dagon would look to the group and kind of go, well, now that that's over, I believe we should try to actually get a full rest up. On top of cover our tracks. If we can. Is
Above-
everyone good on that?
Above game, as an add-on to that, CG, what time of day is it?
5 in the afternoon.
Okay. How could we make it back to Velaki before nightfall?
No.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to make camp.
Yay, we haven't camped in a long time. That's in character.
You know what, Choggy? I'm gonna go with your happiness.
Well, we helped someone. I mean, someone else died, but I like to look at the bright things, you know?
You know what? Yeah, that's actually a good way of looking at it. Besides, we did something that I don't think was ever done before.
You just straight up mention someone died out loud.
Oh, no,
They're not there anymore.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
gone.
us. By the way, how does
Oh, okay.
Esmeralda? How is Esmeralda doing?
Esmeralda has just been. Yeah, Esmeralda has literally just been sitting in the corner, just kind of like, if she doesn't have it, but if she would, she'd just be like smoking on her like 5th cigarette, just watching this whole thing.
You know
It's
that's
just kind
bad
of-
for your lungs.
It's a good thing I don't actually have it then. She's just kind of leaning along the tree and it's like, well, this was certainly not the encounter with the legendary wizard Mordenkainen I was expecting. But it looks like everything worked out for the best.
Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to match up with the other guy. I cannot wait to watch that ego measuring contest.
She rolls her eyes a little bit. You know,
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna go like that.
you'll be surprised, but egocentric maniacs that they both are, I think they'd actually get along well. Call it a hunch.
He immediately proceeds to knock on the nearest tree.
So, are we to depart, or what is the plan?
Considering time of day, I think it would be best for us to find a position we can fortify and rest up for the night. Also, get some food in us. How
I
are
can
you?
cook.
Yes. How are you holding up, Hope?
I am fine. Hope says behind the world's best poker face.
My recommendation would be to, if we are to seek camp, the beach would be the best bet, particularly around the dock.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah, I want that too. Sorry.
You're fine, Jogi. Your opinion is valid, if abrupt. She just kind of like scratches her head a little bit. Anyways, that would be the easiest defensible position, as we do not know exactly what might be lurking in this forest. And we have access to the boat in case of emergencies.
We
Yes,
should
we
also-
actually should probably make some repairs to the other boat.
Yes. Repairs. Totally not. Nah. Kind of just grumbles at getting smacked. Yeah. Also, what's our plan of operation next? We've completed with the abbot and now helping Basilica.
Well, it seems we have a package for the Martikovs. That seems to be the best course of action as any.
Agreed.
The Martikov.
CG.
Yes.
Was anything left from the abbot?
The abbot exploded into flame. He is ash.
Including
You
any
do know that
equipment.
his mace fell in the water somewhere, though.
True. That's a nice looking mace as well.
Dagon got a good look at it as it was bashing against his brain.
Here, you can
I want-
tell. We can make a photocopy of it based on each of the 4 indentations it left on me.
I want to go into the lake.
Where are you heading, Hope?
She just told you. The lake.
I know
More
they-
specifically, into it.
I know that above people. I'm just gonna do that. I love you.
I turned to Diggin. Where do you think you were?
Somewhere between getting smacked by mace, smacked by a wooden plank, and consciousness and unconsciousness.
So what you're saying is that you were in the middle of a beatdown.
Glares
I mean, where were you when he dropped the mace?
on a boat in the middle of the lake. Also glares at Esmeralda with very murderous hate.
She gives a glance over to Gray and then just back to you.
I turn my attention to Choggy.
Hmm?
Do you want to go for a swim?
Oh yeah, I like going for swims. And just kind of latch onto Herb.
Frog has been attached.
Wait, you're amphibious, but you don't have a swim speed, right?
I don't have a swim speed, but I believe... I was just looking that up now. I believe I can, like,
Breathe
spend a
underwater?
decent amount of time underwater.
Oh my god, does this technically mean
Oh my god.
Sen.
Yeah, I
I
can
understand
breathe
that
water.
reference.
in a set? Oh, nice. I was gonna say, in a sense, Choggy could use Hope as a submersible.
We just gotta get you a drill. Unless I misunderstood the reference.
Choggy is using Hope as a Jaeger. Dun, 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 dun.
So yes, it seems like the plan of action right now is to camp for the night and then go to the Mardikovs tomorrow.
Yep.
I want to see if I can find his weapon. At the very least, we need something to bury.
Do we above game want to maybe keep the gem in the cart, since that's sort of a quote unquote safe place?
Yeah,
You
you know,
can't.
it's probably not a good idea to leave it, like, in my pocket while I'm going underwater, in fairness.
We still have that box that I have.
We do!
True.
We do have the grid box!
It's in
So
my
I just
inventory.
wanna point out something real quick. The wagon is on the other side of the lake.
Ah.
Do we have the time to get to it
Yes.
before it gets dark?
You can, but it's going to get dark before you get there.
Okay.
I'll
I
also
say-
throw in that especially because of how neither of you have an actual swim speed, looking for the mace will also probably eat up time. You can definitely still do it, but keep that in mind.
Oh, there's also still a broken boat.
Yeah.
Wait, but Hope can just walk on the on the floor, the lake bed.
Exactly, but Hope doesn't have a swim speed, so it's essentially it acts as difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm. So it's cutting that movement time and, well, doubling actually.
And
Wait.
and on top of that, you still have to actually find it.
Okay.
Someone has water breathing. I just remembered.
I do have that. That is true.
The helm. Oh yeah, the helm of water breathing. The helmet that allows you to breathe underwater. Gray's
And
helmet.
gives you dark vision, which I
That
believe no one
helmet.
else has. It would probably help underwater at night.
All right. So I need a decision. So you can camp here and look for the mace, or you can cross the river and sleep in the wagon.
I would say to do this effectively time-wise, camp here for the night, so they could do the search, and we could just spend our time setting up a position that's defendable.
Agreed.
I agree. I agree. The lake is a
Yeah.
defensive side.
I'm with that as well.
Remind me, CG, the salad of water breathing. Do I need to attune to that? Like, I know if I had to, I did. I just don't remember if it requires attunement.
It does require attunement.
Okay. In that case, I
You
won't bother giving it to anybody else. I'll just
Yeah, you should be attuned to it if I remember correctly.
yeah. In that case, then I'll help join the search for the mace. So that way we don't have to get it attuned to anybody else and make the whole process confusing.
Okay. So I would like to have Dagon and Fael, you are staying on the shore, yes?
Correctamundo.
Okay. Esmeralda will be with you for obvious reasons.
I just
Go ahead.
I thought of something. We're gonna take a long rest soon anyway, right?
Correct.
I have one level 2 slot left to use locate object for. Can I use that to point in the direction of it just to speed things up?
Oh!
I may as well, right?
You can.
I used the Dragon Ball locator to find the mace.
You
Point-
get the direction that they should be searching in, and you just kind of point it out. As you are doing so, I'd like you to roll for me another Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, that's...
Oh.
+4. I think because my aura.
Yep. Yeah, your aura.
Oh, thank
helps
God.
a bit.
Okay.
15.
As you kind of as you kind of send your divination magic out into the lake, Dagon, you've seen this before when you were on the boats, and Choggy as well. But as you are kind of sensing this into the lake, you start coughing a little bit, and you cough a little more and a little more, and water starts coming out of your mouth. And you're fine. You don't suffer any debilitating effects. But as you send your magic into the lake, you get a feeling. Something has noticed you. No, wait. Multiple somethings. One of them very familiar to you. And benevolence. But the other one, it puts chills in your veins. And with that momentary coughing and this presence gone, you snap back. You do know the location of the maze.
Are
Everything alright, Fael?
you all right?
Yeah? I feel fine.
Are you sure? You just started coughing up lake water.
Yeah,
It was weird, but it didn't hurt or anything.
weird how?
Well, you don't usually cough up water without drinking water, right?
Yes, so... If there's something you can tell us now.
I don't know what it is, but it seems familiar.
familiar.
Raising an
How?
eyebrow.
Just a feeling.
Can I insight Fael?
Sure.
Okie dokie.
Do I need to roll something?
Are you trying to deceive them?
17.
Not really.
Then no. What is going through Fael's mind right now?
He has no idea.
Are we potentially in danger if we enter the lake?
No, it doesn't. It's not a bad feeling. It's just something I don't understand.
Kind of present.
It feels a bit reassuring somehow, though.
You remember there were two feelings. One that was reassuring and one that was worse.
I feel conflicted. It's like a combination of assurance and this weird chilly feeling. Two feelings.
Kind of looks to the group that's going to be departing in the water. Do me a favor.
Yes.
Keep your wits under when you're underneath. And Dagon's gonna kind of do the, you know, like the in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit hand motion. And he is going to cast Bless.
Alright, but you know bless lasts a minute, right?
Yeah.
We're not even... Okay. Alright.
Oh, quick question. How far out is the mace?
The mace is distance-wise from where it dropped, not far away from the dock. Probably about 50 feet. But that's not the distance to worry about.
I was thinking rope. Oh wait. Someone else has rope, right? We can just combine ropes
That we do.
in case something happens.
I have an additional 30 feet of rope. So I think total I have like 60 feet? I don't quite remember. I just remember that I specifically bought an additional 30 feet.
I'll say 60.
Okay.
Guess I will start tying the ropes together and getting it ready for y'all. Because I have 50.
50.
Unle-
Hope has 30.
140? Wait. Can't math right now.
Yeah.
120, I
80
believe.
plus 80 plus 60, so
Oh,
140.
140, yeah.
I mean, it's way more than enough, right? Because we can tie it around everyone, and then if something happens, everyone who's on the surface can pull.
Do we tie like a bell to it? I mean, how are you gonna know if people in the water are in danger?
If it starts pulling, we pull back.
True.
Tug 3 times for panic.
Signal flare. I'll shoot a firebolt up into the sky. I don't know if that'll work because it's underwater, but I can try.
We just see sizzling bubbles. Is that a signal, or did someone fart?
Both? If you're having a problem, tug on the rope really fucking hard.
Basically, yeah.
Alright, so are we doing this? Are we...
May as well.
I, Tart, am now having second thoughts, but I am prepared to do this.
On brand. Excuse me. Everyone ties up with the ominous feeling from Fael. Everyone secures themselves. You are a bit more loose, Gray, just because you are capable of actually swimming in this while the other two are just kind of walking. But for the most part, Hope is serving as the anchor, kind of walking in first, with Chuggy in the middle and you in the last. And you all start walking into the water. Soon, Chuggy is kind of like gently moon hopping. Hope is just walking, and you are kind of swimming about, keeping an eye out.
I'm gonna have to
Everyone who
remember
is
to
looking,
change my bandages after this.
who has dark vision of you three?
The salad gives me dark vision.
Chuggy, Hope.
I don't think I do. No, I do not.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception with disadvantage. Gray, you roll straight.
Okay.
Actually, I'll change that.
Okay.
Choggy and Hope can roll normal because Fael used locate object and point you in the right direction.
Well, they still did better than I did. Wait,
Mhm.
would that give
You
me
can-
advantage?
Yes, it would.
Alright.
Can you
Yeah.
win?
Still did well.
It would technically be a 13. I don't know why I did it with advantage that time. Well, whatever you want to take, the 13 or the 18.
Okay. Let me see.
Regardless, they still did better than I did.
Every bit helps.
True. Okay.
Oh, he's rolling.
After about a minute or so, you eventually treading along the lake bed as you are kind of keeping an eye out, Gray, in general, and the other two are just searching the floor. You find embedded in the deep sand, almost tripping on it even, a handle of a mace.
You said I find
Hope-
this?
No, you are looking around,
Oh,
but
okay.
Hope, because she is in the lead, finds the mace on the floor.
Got you. Apologies.
No worries. You pick it up, and you start walking back. Gray,
Hello.
as you are kind of keeping an eye out, you begin to start reconvening with the group. You remember when you first came here, you had heard tales that there was nothing in the lake. But as you begin to walk out of the water, and before you fully emerge, you notice movement. Fast, and it was away from you.
Something moved away from us.
Yes.
Okay. You said it was... Could I determine how large this creature was? Or this movement was?
You would have no idea.
Okay. I don't suppose I have the ability to speak because of the water breathing effect?
No.
Okay. then I will just start moving a bit faster.
You all emerge from the water unscathed with a bit of damp rope and a rather ornate mace that looks like a sun.
Gray will almost immediately be like, guys, perhaps we should move a bit farther away from the lake. There's definitely something down there.
Oh, great. What we need? A freaking lake monster. Back up and move on further from this place.
Esmeralda, who was currently digging out a fire pit, is just looking and going, "Oh,
Come on.
fine."
I'm not
And
sure
you
how
all-
interested it is in us, but if it is large, I would rather not be too close to the lake edge.
You all scoot on back a bit further into the woods. And you all bunker down for a long rest. Is anyone doing watch?
I'd say all of us in some capacity.
Take turns.
Yeah.
If
Well, Hope.
possible, Gray would like to take the damaged boat with us and try to repair it during his watch.
Okay. As you kind of go to the boat, you notice that the plank that was ripped from the boat was not like a core plank. It was more like a seat. You can repair it, but the boat is not in immediate danger of sinking.
Okay. Is it really worth fixing?
I mean, it'd be a comfier sit.
Okay. It's been a long day. I probably won't bother. It's not important.
Oh, yeah.
It has been a very, very long day.
God damn it.
Hmm.
The abbot gave him a chair shot.
All right. So, I believe that Hope's natural inability to sleep, they will be on watch with whoever also wants to be on watch.
I'd say maybe take turns with 3 of us.
I can do first watch. Gray's got to stay up and like change his bandages and everything now. Not that they're all wet.
I'll take 3rd watch.
I all can take one.
Okay.
He's completely unharmed.
So, Gray, then Fael, and then Dagon, and then Hope, if you would like to, you can be in on any of these, any or all of these.
I will take final 2 watches. But I will be in rest mode for all.
Okay.
All right.
So up first is, so it'll be, since Hope is going to be kind of taking her spot, Dagon, it'll be Gray, Fael, Hope, Hope. So Gray, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Do I get any sort of advantage to this because of the dark vision from the helmet?
No, just straight.
Okay, just making sure. 7.
You're bandaging up your wounds during this whole time, and they just sting, and you're thinking about the thinking of your cheeks and what that meant, and it's just been a day.
It's been a day.
Your watch ends without incident. Fael,
Here we go. Eventually,
12.
well,
You're staring out into the lake, kind of wondering, what happened earlier? What did my magic do on this lake that caused that reaction? And the same feeling that you got from before, the warm feeling, the calming feeling, not warm. You can kind of feel it remotely, a connection of some sort. There's something good in this lake, but there's something far less benevolent in here as well. You ponder on the nature of it for the rest of your watch, but nothing occurs.
With camp away from the lake, I am going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
actually,
As
can I
you,
use Divine Sense before I sleep?
I'll allow it.
May as
We'll do hope first, since they mentioned that they wanted to do that before night even began. Detect magic goes off. You detect no magic, other than the residual magic from the weapons that you carry and a little bit from Dagon just being Dagon.
Anything from the mace?
You detect no magic from the mace.
Good. When I'll be reading at +2 mace.
Okay. And then, Fael, you wanted to Divine Sense. You detect nothing.
Alright, sleepy time.
Hope, go ahead and roll me your first perception check. $25. You look out into the night, into the fog. Nothing occurs. Go ahead and roll me another perception check. $12. You remain in your scarecrow position. You keep an eye on the lake, expecting the worst, seeing something emerge from it and attack you, but no such event comes as the stand-in for the sun begins to return. You all wake up and receive the benefit of a long rest.
Oh, bless.
Oh, bless.
And just so I remember, we get all hit dice back on long rest, yeah?
That's correct.
Okay. I thought
Yep.
so. I had a DM one time who ran it as you only get like a certain amount, and so I had to make sure I remembered it correctly.
I thought it was half, wasn't it?
Is it half?
It
Or
wouldn't
maybe it's
it wouldn't surprise me, but I honestly play with full anyways.
Yeah.
good to know.
The character also regains spent hit dice up to a number of dice equal to half the character's total number. So you get half back.
3.5 was brutal for healing.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
1 point a day.
Ugh. I'm so glad D&D has evolved.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been more realistic.
Realism in my fantasy setting? Fuck no.
Fuck that. We all get Wolverine healing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Except Sen,
suddenly
she gets
my
Ultron
my
healing.
burns are healed.
So, you are awake. Seems everything was fine for the night. Hope. What did you want to do with the mace?
In the night, as the others sleep, I cast the mace into the campfire, letting the combustible pieces burn away in the night.
As the sun rises, the fire dims. You can see all that remains is the metal of the head of the mace.
I take the mace head and store it away in my pack.
All right. You take the mace, keep it with you, the mace head. Go ahead and add Abbott's mace to your inventory. And you can feel, even locked away in this lens, go ahead and roll a religion check. You get a strange feeling as you make your offering and store it, but you can't quite pinpoint it. Everyone else wakes up for the day. What's the plan?
Well, I know we gotta get back to the Marnikovs. So... head back that way?
Is it closer than the winery? Because isn't that
It is the
another place to
winery.
go?
It is the winery.
Oh. Or, I mean, like, where the wild folk went. Who took the gem?
The message from the Raven and
Esther Hill.
yes,
South of the winery, I mean.
That's correct.
There's someone there we can meet. Meet up with, I mean.
So you would like to head to the winery to meet up with the Mardikovs then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's efficient since we already have one gem. May as well start that quest.
I
then.
don't like the idea of taking on the wild folk while in the possession of a gem. When they have
Yeah.
one already.
It's like fighting Thanos when he's already got, 2 Infinity Stones. And we're carrying a third one.
Well, then we can drop it off.
Yeah, just go ahead and drop the kids off at the pool, and go on out for your day of work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna drown or anything.
Here I go butchering again.
So, go to the winery, then go head south.
Okay.
Wine and crime.
As you spend a fair amount of time traveling across the lake, there's no reaction from Fael as you cross. You make your way through the town of Valaki. You see Isaac kind of hurriedly moving along with some guards. You get the sense you probably shouldn't interfere as you pass through town. Several hours later, probably around 1, you make your way to the other side. You pass by the road that leads to the Vistani camp to the south of town. Memories of Arabelle from when you first came to this area. You continue on, backtracking towards the refinery that you all went to so early on in your trip to Barovia. Pass by the area where you remember Dagon had an encounter with himself before it rapidly decayed and disappeared. Dagon, you shudder a little bit, just remembering the thought. And you return to the winery.
It's been a long time.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
Fael, this is actually your first time at this place. You see coming down the road rows and rows of withering and dead plants, all except a certain row or two that seem to be alive but not doing very well, with remnants of grapes along the vine. It is on a bit of a small hill that you see a large complex, which you can assume is the winery that your companions were talking about. It seems fairly damaged, but repairs have been begun to be made. Like it's recovering. You also happen to notice as you start making your way towards the distillery. All of you notice this, but only Fael is curious about this. A large amount of twigs and broken branches along all of the inside of these rows of vines. You walk up onto the door and
Ping pong.
go away! We're not open!
It's us?
Mr. Mardikov.
You open up and you see the door open up and you see the form of Davian Mardikov, the grouchy old elder Mardikov, peer out. It's like, oh, you finally got back from Barovia, did you?
We had to deal with some crises of faith, so to speak.
Yeah, well, we needed you like 4 days ago. Your crisis of faith couldn't wait a little bit, and then you hear from the back, Father, let them in. I'm just saying, they flaked out on us. Just worry about
If
it.
you prefer, we can go.
I mean,
No, come on in.
we
And
also brought gifts.
With one of your gems.
Yeah, that one.
as soon as you say that, you hear boom, 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 boom. It's like, Dad, I'm fine. Just startled. Give me my cane.
Are you okay?
You see the door open and the tall form of Adrian Mardukov step out. He fell in surprise. Come
Holy
on in.
Of course. Also, holy shit, have you been drinking more milk? You could seem like you got taller.
No, did you shrink in my absence? He just kind of looks puzzled at you.
No, I got the bitch slapped by God's messenger.
Oh, that makes sense. Wait a minute. And he kind of holds up his hand. If I remember correctly, you were a group of 5. Now you are a group of 6. And one of you I've never met before. He's looking to Fael and Esmeralda.
One? Yeah, no, I agree with Hope. One. Which one did you not meet?
I think the implication is that he's met Esmeralda already.
Looking at Esmeralda a little sussy.
I mean, it's a winery, dude. I mean, it's a
I
public
know.
winery.
Still looking
Esmeralda-
sus.
Esmeralda looks over to you, Dagan, and gives that, giving her the look, and she just gives like that, well, guess I'll die shrug. Like, I don't know.
I think we have an imposter.
So, tell me, who are you both? What are your names? What do you do? And why are you with this group? Looking to Fael and Esmeralda.
I am Fael. I have joined these people to help fight the darkness and spread the light.
That doesn't seem like what I know about you. He looks down at you.
I'm not like most goblins. Hence my nickname, the Anomalous.
I've heard that before, so that lines up. Shouldn't you be with the Vistani right now? I thought you were here to see about a perversion of nature in here. Or is that just what you told the Dusk Elves?
Felt like I was needed elsewhere.
And you, Vistani, hanging out with these others. Yes. My name is Esmeralda Davenier, and I am accompanying them to further both of our own goals. And what goals would that be? The deposition of Strahd. What else? He looks over to her. Are you sure that's the only reason that you're here? Why else would I be here?
CG.
Yes.
Considering what we know of Esmeralda, as well as the card surrounding her, can we put 2 and 2 together?
About what?
About her real purpose being here. Just considering the card's meaning.
If you want to put it together and tell me what it is, I won't stop you.
Alright. Do you need an actual check for this, or would it logically be made?
As always, if you can put it together above game, then by all means, no check will be needed.
Considering Esmeralda's card involved her searching through the mist for her mentor, that she's technically here for, well, good old Van Richten.
Act it out.
I mean, considering how we met with you, Esmeralda, and, well, with what Madame Eva told us of you through the cards, I think we also know that you're here to find your mentor, so to speak.
Aye, that is what I am here for.
So, that's the secondary purpose.
Adrian kind of looks over to you all, and you can agree with this and vouch for it for both of them. He says, looking to the rest of the group.
I was muted. Gray would nod his head and say, "We'll take responsibility for them."
And Chuggy will just like enthusiastically nod as well.
I mean, who are we to question the words of Madame Eva?
He squints, and you are not permitted into the premises. Looking at the party.
Wait, Ashley,
Cool.
we're coming in anyway.
Cool.
Okay. Gray, you just walk in.
I kind of just
And
like pat
as-
him on the shoulder.
Yeah, as Adrian just kind of gives you a nod. And the rest of you pass through and just kind of like a final look from him. It's like, all right then. They're different. It should have been the same. We can't trust him.
You're talking about the one that we lost, right?
Don't listen to my father. He's just upset because because things are different, and he's kind of leans over to you. I think he's looking for an excuse to like not trust you guys.
I mean, can you really blame him, though? Technically, we'd be missing 3.
Yes, you would be missing several from the first trip to the winery, but 2 of those are very well-known individuals.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to then.
I know one of them. But who's the other one? Yeah, that's one of them.
Ah, a good point.
When they oh yeah, they would remember
They
that.
remember.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Good point.
Good catch.
Fuck, there's another false Hydra around. We forgot about Crest again.
Oh shit.
Look, it's okay. This one's just drunk. He's having wine out
okay.
back.
Easy to take out then.
Yeah.
Middle-aged Hydra. Oh, my life.
Don't
Nice,
kill our
Rob.
best customer. Do you know how many mouths can drink so much wine? No. Uh,
You know how much gold he
anyways. Just to keep going. Yes. He was so perturbed by missing, well, 4 of your number, but we do know where 2 of them went. But the sneaky fellow and the one that was quite loud for our tastes.
Well,
We know what happened to the other one, but my apologies and my condolences.
sincerely appreciated. As far as the other one is concerned, more than likely probably did too. If he's not, I'll be surprised.
You don't seem that concerned, but I don't know your relationship, so I will move on. Now that you have more or less cleared up the information, and as he kind of waves you over inside, you mentioned a gem?
Love game. I don't remember if Fael or Chagi have it.
I believe Fael would have because we put it in the box.
I don't think we ever said we did.
Oh,
I
we
think it was
didn't?
it was suggested, but I don't think we said we did.
Yeah, I think Choggy still has it.
Oh, go Choggy.
I'll just because I know Fael said we should put it in the box, and then we just kind of moved on. Yeah, so I'll fish into my pocket and pull it out. There's a bit of pocket lint stuck to it.
To the wet from the lake.
This is just a single strap of
Some seaweed there.
yeah.
Lake weed.
It's bigger than it was when it was first touched. Looks a lot more vibrant and healthy. My God. He kind of gestures to take it.
I'm gonna look at the other guys first.
Gray will nod.
Orange Cassidy, thumbs up.
Hey.
Then I'll plop it into his hand.
He picks it up and inspects it.
I slap it out of his hand. No.
Davian kind of walks over and looks at it too. This isn't the one from... No, it's not that one. And it's not the one that the wild folk took either. This is the missing one. Wherever did you find the gem? And as he's...
Hope feels a bit of pain as they handle the gem.
Mm-hmm. And Father, go tell everyone that we have that our guests have arrived and they've brought such unimaginable bounty. And he kind of wanders off, and soon after, the rest of the Mardikovs return, consisting of, because it has been a while, and I know that everyone has forgotten, and I do not blame them.
Thank you.
Hold on. I scrolled away from my list because I am the big dumb. Davian and Adrian, you already know. Stefania, the redhead mother, walks in with her husband, the handlebar mustache having Dag, as well as the bookish looking Elvir, and their 4 children, Claudia, Martin, Vigo, and the baby, which I don't actually think I have the... Oh, the baby Yolanda. And they all just kind of clamber around. It's like, is that it? All the children are looking at it. Dears, don't crowd. Listen to your mother. Elvir kind of picks it up. Champagne du Stomp Gem. marked this one off as just lost to the wind. Now, I have to ask you again, where did you find this? We've been looking for it for quite a long time.
We found it at the Abbey.
As soon as you say that, it's like, oh, of course, the Abbey! Other than Ravenloft, that was the only place we really didn't have a good beat on.
It was difficult to get back to you, but thankfully she is safe.
You have no idea how much this means to us. Champagne de la Stomp was... well... he kind of looks at the group. It was our bestseller, and one of the things that really everyone in the valley enjoyed. Imagine what we can do with it back in our hands again. It'll be nice to see everyone in Vallaki and Kresk smile again. Yes, and from what I hear, like the Elvir kind of moves his eyes up, the town of Barovia as well. Seems you all did quite a good job over there.
We've certainly been making our way around. Which,
You know,
by the way, you mentioned... well, your father mentioned an incident a few days ago? 4 days ago?
Ah, straight to business. Probably a good call. Stefania, dear, please take this down to the cellar and put it with the others. Did you want to say something, Dagan?
it's good. It's good.
Okay. Yes, well, before this was dropped into our lap, I wanted to talk to you a bit more about the gem that was stolen from us. Actually, let me change the music. It should be a lot better than this.
No more spooky.
Come on. Kind of waves you in. We have found the location of the wild folk that made off with the other gem. And you all just kind of sit down at the winery tasting table. It's rather large, nice patio, but you're able to fit everyone. Though, really only Adrian, Elvir, and Davian are at the table with you. It's located south of us at Yester Hill, though having gotten the message, I can only imagine you're at least up to date on that. We don't know what exactly is going on there. I regret to say, for as skilled as we are, our main forms of communication have been, well, challenged going to and from there.
Challenged. How?
You see, as looking above, you remember that when you were aiding the winery, there was a swarm of ravens and there are still a swarm of ravens up above on the outside of the roof. One flutters down and just kind of lands on the table, pecks a little bit, and then kind of hops on over to Davian. Adrian goes, "Well, we use the ravens, of course, but if something else can get to them, well, it's not quite safe, and yeah, something has been intercepting it. Hawks, we believe."
Peers down at Kago.
Skeletal hawk.
Real
So you build-
hawks or like this?
From what I can gather, skeletal.
So some form of necrotic druidic craft, similar to what has occurred here.
Not necessarily. Kago here is the same thing, and he's simply the result of a find familiar spell. Much like
True.
his other forms.
But we are dealing with the wild folk, and we saw their work firsthand. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have access to some more potent capabilities.
I doubt necrosis is involved. More likely it's just an effect of Barovia, and here's the interesting bit. We've seen many of the skeletal hawks, but there have been actual hawks as well.
Do tell.
Far as we can gather, some of them are familiars, yes, but some of them are also, well, druids, after all.
And do you have an idea where these hawks are coming from?
Yester Hill.
Yester Hill. Marking that down.
It's-
Yester?
Yes, I will spell it anyways.
Appreciate it. And I assume that is where you believe they took the gem, yes?
There's no belief in this one. I wouldn't call you back for a belief. They have the gem. That's the only thing that's that has really made it back. A friend of ours is watching the situation a bit more in depth. She's had tough times reporting back, but she has been able to convey that the gem is there and that the wild folk are up to something.
The
It looks
big-
like we... Go ahead.
And that's the problem. We don't know what the hell the wild folk are even doing. Hell, we don't even speak their language.
Indeed. So our request of you is to head south to Yester Hill, reconvene with our friends, and see about retrieving the gem.
Your friends?
Just the one. Her name is Muriel. Muriel Vinshaw.
Muriel Vinshaw. Okay. I hope I spelled
Hey.
that right.
I hate to ask this. Considering the circumstances at hand, you wouldn't happen to know if there's any form of translation for these people? Someone who can speak their language, act as a translator, maybe? Or
They
a
look
he-
at each.
a book?
They look at each. Sorry.
No, he cuts off after saying book.
They shake their head. The tongue is most ancient, and we've never been able to find anyone that could speak their language.
kind of just looks a little. This makes any chance of a diplomacy option a little bit more trickier. And I'd rather not blast our way out.
I don't know what the situation is down there, but I do know that Yester Hill is not to be underestimated. It is a gathering place for them. On top of what they are doing now, they have been sighted there very commonly. We request that you coordinate with Muriel for more information.
Well, it seems that we have our next location then.
Yester Hill is a few hours walk south of here. The roads are, for the most part, clear. The wild folk have not ventured past Yester Hill ever since we spotted them. But take care nonetheless. In the meantime, we'll be reconnecting this gem with the land. Our land, yes, but the land itself as well. There are many preparations to make. If you survive, and after seeing the gift you brought, I have every faith that you will, return the gem to us, we'll have an appropriate reward.
Kind of nodding. Before we go, do you have any idea as to where the third gem may be? Any sort of lead? Just out of curiosity.
Not a clue. Not a single clue. Father, please. Fine. We've known where it is for years.
And you're just now telling this information because there's something big?
Yeah, we don't want you to go and die.
How thoughtful.
I assume
You
by
remember...
then... Go ahead.
You remember the last time you were here, they mentioned a hesitancy about this last gem, and said as much.
Would
You
it be
brought
an-
us the... Go ahead.
Would it be an insight check to kind of like, I don't know, can I insight that they're referring to Castle Ravenloft or somewhere else?
You can't insight that, yes.
Okay. Yeah. 13.
It's hard to read.
Okay. I tried.
You get that gem back, maybe we could see if you're strong enough to actually do something about the last one. Okay?
Kind of just nods. Doesn't really say anything.
It's a pickle, to be sure. We don't want to throw people's lives away, and we certainly are not capable of getting it ourselves, but that is a problem for another day.
Of course. Well, I don't have any other questions, kind of looking at the group.
I have a question. What? You've taken me to this winery, and these very well-informed individuals. And I understand the empathy involved, but I feel like I'm missing something.
This is Esmeralda speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Who are you? We are the Mordecars, my dear. We are purveyors of wine and enemies of Strahd. We may not have much, but like all living things, we have ears. And he gives a slight grin. Well, alright, don't pat yourself on the back too hard. Very well then. So you are information gatherers then. Oh, if you want to be blunt about it. And if we perform this task for you, you are willing to provide a reward of some sort. My dear, if you find this gem, our resources will be all of yours. Not just you, but the rest of you. I'll hold you to that. She just kind of gets up. Come on. We have some druids to mug.
An odd way of putting it. We're gonna go run them for their Tims.
We're gonna run them for their timbers.
Hey,
Ah.
it's not much, but... And he just kind of, like, motions, and a raven just kind of flocks down. Here, take this one with you. He should be able to navigate you through the forest well enough. And if you have him, Muriel should be able to spot you and flag you down. And you, he points to the raven, just remember to stay low, alright? Ah!
Gray kind of like holds up the arm for the raven to land on.
The raven lands on your arm, and immediately as the raven does, Kago appears from like behind your other shoulder and gives that look of like, who's this motherfucker rolled up on my turf?
It's alright, bud. Kind of like scritching Kago's like neck and face. He's just a temporary passenger. Isn't that right, friend? Kind of looking at the raven.
Is there anything else you would like to ask the Martikovs while you are here?
I've got nothing.
Has there been any recent developments that have occurred here? Or has everything been calm recently?
Well, I wouldn't say calm. There was a bit of a scare with Yolanda getting sick, but if you mean like assaults on our winery or anything of the similar nature, no. And to be honest, that is equal parts blessing and curse.
No visitors, no nothing.
None.
Fair enough.
Anyone else? Alright. You all get up, resolute in your purpose, and you leave the winery to head south. And as you do, you see it off in the distance, far away. Your next destination of Yester Hill.
Oh, Jesus
that-
fucking Christ.
And that is where we are going to end the session.
Oh, that was
Ah,
horrifying.
that totally doesn't look like an evil place to go.
Excuse me, that looks more like a mesa or a plateau, even.
Look, I didn't name this place, alright?
Technically.
What are you, a fucking nerd?
Actually,
Oh man, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the session.
good shit tonight. Good
Uh-huh.
shit. Bit of a quote-unquote slower session, which is gonna lead up to horrible fucking wood creature fights next fucking session, probably.
Who
Come on,
knows?
I'm sure we could handle this in a very simplistic and peacefully diplomatic way.
This is the part where we throw our heads back in laughter. Ha 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 ha!
Ha ha!
Ah,
They did not, in fact, handle it in a peaceful and diplomatic way. They, in fact, chose ultra-violence.
Yeah, that's it for us. Tart. They know where they can find you, but tell them anyways.
You can find me here at twitch.tv/FightingTart, where tomorrow, presuming I'm up for it and I'm not tired for whatever reason, I will be continuing my journey into Lost Judgment, where I'm going to probably get distracted by side quests. Let's see, who I want to throw that. Haza! Yeah!
it's me, Haza. You can catch me over at
Haza is
twitch.tv.
his name? Paul.
Yeah. It's the joke.
Yeah.
Gold star. You can catch me playing Neo over at twitch.tv/Hazard is my name, because fuck, I love that soundtrack. And fuck, I love math-based insults, you yoctograms. You can also catch me tomorrow at twitch.tv/Trash King Arisen, where I will be Slidey Boy over at Under the Shroud.
Oh god, that's right, Under the Shroud is tomorrow. I will be there too, where I'm going to torture the party in Monokuma voices.
Yes, you will.
I wonder what
next
that's like.
Next up, Wiley.
Hello. You can probably not find me streaming because I am bad at keeping schedules and streaming. But if I do stream, it'll be at twitch.tv/xwiley late at night when nobody's awake. Next.
Well, you gotta throw the ball to someone.
Sen.
Fuck it,
At unknown Twitch channel.
I know, I always think there's an underscore there, and there's not.
Oh,
I mean, that is fair.
I didn't realize.
Hello. I've been streaming more recently, but as always you will not be graced by my dulcet tones. You cannot see me at twitch.tv/Sensuna84.
Accurate.
Keck.
Top keck.
Keckers, bro.
My favorite Pokemon is Kecleon.
Keck W, Leon.
and tossing it to someone else.
Quick, J-Frost, get in there! Go for the dive! Go, 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 go!
Let's go hit the ground.
Oh! Yeah,
Watch out.
anyways, hi, you can find me at twitch.tv and Twitter at jfrost747 and frost747j, where tomorrow might do some Blood Bowl practicing because I gotta face Gingy in round 4 of our Blood Bowl tournament. And Lizards versus Goblins. It's gonna be bloody. You can also find me Friday with Cole and Robot. Probably doing some more Valheim. Hopefully not passing out halfway through stream. And who knows? We got a lot of hodgepodge games. Feeling an urge to once more jump into the Rising Storm 2. But yeah, so yeet.
I guess that's on me. Oh no, my hand-eye coordination betrays me. Poomph!
Thunk.
Stonk.
You can find me nowhere because I'm not much for social media, but you can find me here every Monday for War of the Shattered Sun, every other Tuesday for Curse of Strahd, so it will be in our next game will be on the 12th. And you can find me over at Jack the Questionable's channel. I stopped halfway through. For another D&D game that I am a player in, set in the world of Ambria. It's a good time.
It's almost like you got
Unlike
things to
what's-
chill now.
Yeah, it's weird. You know what's not a good time? War of the Shattered Sun.
I don't know what you mean. Shifty eyes.
Listen, I had to leave the horror ball down in order to pick up the emotions ball to play with that today. And when I turned my head back, a certain farting tart had made off with it.
Oh no, you turned around and saw me and I looked like an Ed, Edd n Eddy character with the fucking jawbreaker in the mouth.
Yeah.
Just drool running down my face.
So yeah, looking forward to that, but not really, but also, but not really. And I think that's everyone. Actually, everyone, do we have someone we want to raid?
I have someone we can raid. Unless anybody has anyone highly requested.
I mean, I see Squatchy's on.
Is Squatch on? Oh, Squatch is on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll change my
And
mind.
they're doing Shin Megami Tensei 3.
Ooh.
Those were words you just said. I just fucking did raid Squatch Wing.
You just can't get these raids right.
I can't. It's physically impossible. We're gonna go raid Sasquatch Wing. Fuck off.
Shit.
Go show them a little bit of love. Let them know who sent you. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode of The Curse of Stromboli. Remember, as always, Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, and you matter. Most importantly, I love you.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.